Hey guys, today we're doing Batman Year 1, 4 of a kind, which is how the collection of Batman annuals dealing with um, the first meeting between Batman and four of his iconic villains. So the way this works is you had four Batman comics. For example, this one is Shadow of the Bat. There's like Batman and Detective Comics, and there's four of them in total. I just can't remember the name of the fourth one off the top of my head. And each one had an annual, in this year, which kind of did the year one theme. And this one deals with how Batman and Poison Ivy first met, I guess. And you can see here, Poison Ivy looks kind of weird, like she's supposed to be sexualized and kind of looks very angry. Which in this comic, she's very angry at men, and you could only consider this portrayal and characterization of her as being sexy if you consider catcalling the highest form of flirting. This is the best way I can put it. You guys will see. So the story goes, Batman is interrogating this dude, and he kind of gets the info he needs, but he sees this other guy uh, kind of wobbling around, and he goes to check on him, and he just like sprouts mushrooms all over his face and body. And I told you I have this problem where the cover is after the first page. So he kind of sees the guy is dead, kind of takes a few mushrooms um, for checking them for later. So he sees Poison Ivy and a couple of her goons, and Poison Ivy is enamored by her, but the goons aren't that happy because they know how Batman is and operates. And Poison Ivy is like, don't worry, I'll deal with him. So she just kisses this guy, and he just jumps off the ledge. Batman goes to save him. He does so, in fact. Then this is kind of a weird portrayal of Bruce Wayne. He kind of acts like this 13-year-old horny teenager for some reason. Like, I don't know why. So he kind of jokes, makes some puns with Alfred about this strange woman, which is he's referring to Poison Ivy, and he's like, Alfred's like, stranger than Catwoman, and he says by a whisker. Haha, so funny. I hate puns, by the way. I hate puns. And this is the weird part. You know how some women are beautiful, but they just don't turn you on? Well, Poison Ivy is both beautiful and sexy. Like, you don't expect Bruce Wayne to talk like a frat bro, you know? You'd expect him to be more suave in his lines and dialogue, you know? And especially not talk about this immediately after he comes off of a mission where he saw like a guy die from the weirdest thing ever, probably, that he saw in his first year. It's almost as if she walks around in the midst of pheromones. Well, they don't really explore this part in this comic. And then Alfred goes, I thought you'd left all that behind, sir. Your energy being required elsewhere, so to speak. Even a Batman can daydream. So, the way this three panel actions, and not action scene, but scene is structured, is you're supposed to think Batman kind of has an erection, daydreaming about Poison Ivy after he just saw her like make the weird mushroom dude die of the weird mushroom disease, and then almost make like a guy kill himself by jumping off the ledge, who he barely saved. This was weird. So next we see Poison Ivy, and she stole some jewelry, and she doesn't like him, and she remembers how she hates men because men had always deceived her, betrayed her, let her down. Her father would spoil her rotten yet stay so distant she never knew him. Woodrow, whose reckless experiments had turned her from a teenage girl into something else. And then she throws the jewels, and the goons kind of figure out she's not really the one they should be following if they want money, because she doesn't seem to be too much after that. So she kind of uses the plants in this garden, like this is some kind of acid plant, And then she kills them and says, "Men, an ugly mixture of conceit and deceit." Then she says, "At least they make good compost." So yeah, she weirdly hates men. Like every man she meets, she really hates him for like no reason at all. And now we kind of get this scene with Batman where he goes on this date with this chick to this charity ball, and look how she, like, both of them act so out of character. For, like, anyone who's supposed to be in this like um, ultra high company, they act like a bunch of peasants. So this guy is a councilman and introduces Pamela Isley to Bruce Wayne, and she says, "Pleased to meet you." And then Bruce Wayne, he continues to act like a 13-year-old teenager. Enchanté, is that a West Coast accent I detect? What brings you to the flesh pots of Gotham, especially in the company of our reprobate councilman? And she, okay, so opportunity. I'm a plant biologist. Thought I might find a lucrative research position here. I'm filling in time working for an escort agency. Like, no escort would say, "Oh, I work for an escort agency," because the escort is supposed to be this kind of hot, attractive, but also smart and articulate, and a woman who knows how to compose herself and act in like high society. So she doesn't know what the councilman and Bruce's relationship is. They might barely know each other. It's pretty clear they have a formal relationship, a mutual respect-based relationship. So she just made her her client, the councilman, look like a total douche, because the whole escort thing, you're supposed to like come in a company of a very nice-looking woman, a very smart woman, because you're not able to get one yourself without paying for it. But this is like horrendous, like bad service. And oh my god, this chick looks like silk. So I know this. In this super high class um, charity bowl, they have this kind of punk rock, I guess, musicians band, and then everyone drinks wine but Bruce Wayne, and there's a fungal infection that the poison ivy had in the drinks, and everyone kind of starts sprouting mushrooms, and they're gonna die if she doesn't give them this vial, and everyone just throws everything they have on them, and there's this point where one woman had like one of the items, it's like a memory of her like dad or something, and Bruce's girlfriend kind of jumps in and gets shot, and then Bruce tries to save her, but she still gets shot. And for this, Poison Ivy kisses him and kind of gives him like toxins. And this is like my favorite part of the comic. Like, look at this art, and this writing. Her mouth quivers like a leaf. Sorry about that. So, this is the art. Look at it. It's amazing. We're gonna start. Her mouth quivers like a leaf in a breeze. Her eyes sparkle with something he never saw in human eyes before. Then her lips fasten on his. His heart pounds and his back arcs as green fire races through his veins. His blood sings of waterfalls, sunrise in the springtime, of the cool green that lives for no reason other than love of life itself. This is pretty cool art and very good writing. Tears sting his eyes for her alien world. And then he kind of escapes and changes into Batman after had a car parked somewhere near. And when they kiss, he kind of placed a tracer on her, and he knows where she is. And look at this. This is such a wasted potential. So visions of Ivy swim before his eyes, teasing, mocking him. This would have been an amazing, like, couple of pages, maybe even like some panels where he just has these visions of Poison Ivy, just mocking and teasing him, like how the text says. But instead, we get like this little box of like 10 words instead of some amazing art. Wasted potential here. Um, so then we kind of see Poison Ivy hating on men again, Um, she kind of does this threat on Gotham, like pay me $10 million or I'm gonna do the whole mushroom poison thing in the whole of Gotham. Um, the spores would mean short death to any other, but don't do a thing to her. In a way, she hopes they don't pay up. In a way, she wants to see them die, their flesh erupting. No, she doesn't mean that. She's a nice girl, isn't she? What was it Professor Woodrow would say? You're a massive contradiction, Pamela. A peculiarly dead massive contradiction. So then Batman comes in, and Poison Ivy kind of catches him with the plans, and he asks for the antidote for Bruce Wayne, and Poison Ivy kind of thinks how she's gonna kill the Batman. Uh, then she decides to kiss him as well. She says, I wanna say I kissed the Batman before he died," and she says it's the same poison that Bruce Wayne got, and the only antidote is a second kiss from her, which he's not gonna get. But since Bruce Wayne and Batman are the same person, he kind of gets cured. She doesn't understand, and he just says, "Because I'm laughing because I've suddenly realized I'm completely immune to their charms." And he uses a cape. He kind of throws a cape and catches her, and then the end of it is we see her. This is Arkham Asylum, and she uses this tree to kind of make a Batman or Bat Shadow, and she just wants someone to pamper and adore her, kind of like her dad did, but she hates her dad. He's only a man, isn't he? When Poison Ivy gets you, the itch lasts forever. So, a couple of cool moments in this comic. Massive wasted potential with the visions. The rest of the story is pretty mediocre. Poison Ivy, it's written kind of weirdly, like a man-hating feminist, which is all sexy. Like, don't you see how sexy she is? Don't you? And then Batman kind of acts like a 13-year-old. Although that might be the pheromones. Just thought of that. He might be acting such like so out of character because of the pheromones, but it doesn't really say. I don't know if like. There's some things in this comic that they kind of beat you over the head with, like the fact that Poison Ivy is sexy. But this thing they leave it to interpretation, and I don't think that's what they meant. I might be wrong though. Anyways, this was the Batman Year 1 Shadow of the Bat annual featuring Poison Ivy and her first meeting with the Batman. I hope you guys like this video. I'm gonna do one more today, and then the rest. I mean, there are only two left, so those two I'm gonna do tomorrow. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Please leave comments with anything that you've liked or disliked about this video, future videos you might want to see, anything basically, just any thoughts you might have about this or any other videos or about my channel in general. And please subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Thanks.